The Aiken Chamber of Commerce presents the 45th Annual Aiken's Macon Arts and Crafts Show. Come stroll beautiful historic downtown Aiken for this amazing two-day event, Friday, September 10th, 9 till 6, and Saturday, 9 till 5. Support local and regional artists as they present their art and creative handiwork. Food vendors will be on hand, so you can stroll all day long around the safe, open parkways. Aiken's Macon, September 10th and 11th in downtown Aiken. For more information, visit aikenchamber.net.
State Farm offers surprisingly great rates on home and auto insurance. But what does that mean? Surprising. This often means something comes out of nowhere, like finding that last can of sparkling lemon water in the fridge. Great? Well, obviously great means superior. Rates? Simply what one pays in exchange for something. And in this case, that something is State Farm being there when you need them most. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Wilson White in Greenville today.
Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. What's going on, everybody? It is kind of late on a Monday, but we're here. I'm Gigi. What's good, Fruit Loop?
I don't know. Not a lot of good in the last 2 weeks. It's been crazy. So
it's been crazy with COVID, and we just want to let everybody know that the lady we've been talking about, Terry T, who was a listener of the show, but more importantly, a member of Fruit Loop's theater family, she passed away from COVID yesterday or the day before.
It was Sunday night. Saturday night.
Saturday night. So we just want to acknowledge Terry because she was a big supporter of the podcast. She was so sweet to my girls. My youngest, Sarah Rose, is having a very hard time with it right now. I think her nickname for her was Munchkin, and my older daughter too. It's just theater groups become family. So I know it's been hard for you guys. Very tough. So we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Too Cool T-Shirt Quilts. She is a great sponsor because she spoils us with really cool stuff. And if you want to see all the fantastic things she offers, memorial blankets, pillows, the T-shirt quilts, go to twocooltshirtquilts.com/prettyliesandalibis, and she'll know we sent you.
What's really cool, it's not your typical T-shirt quilt. Like the ones I've seen are just basically like T-shirts sewn together. This is like way more into it than that. Like the design on it and all kind of stuff. Yeah,
it's the designs are awesome, and it's got fluff in the middle so you can actually use it as a blanket. We love it. Yeah. And I just want to say a big thank you to Mikhail, because when I've been down with COVID these last 2 weeks, we've had a lot of people who have sent us links of things we were sort of missing when I was sick in bed and couldn't lift my phone. I think there was like 2 days worth of text of yours I didn't even see.
Yeah.
I was out in left field. But Mikhail sent us a lot. So thank you, Mikhail.
So I want to give a shout out to Angie. She's part of our theater group. She loves listening. So
hey Angie, she's the best.
Yep, she's cool.
She's so sweet. So just real quick about Valo, there is that status conference that they stopped last time because Mark Means gave him the Cliff Notes version of her progress. Judge Boyce wanted the full report. So that's going to be this Wednesday at 1:30 Mountain Time, which would be 3:30 Eastern Time. Chad is scheduled to be in that hearing, so we'll see if he shows up. I'll live tweet it and cover it on Twitter like I normally do, and we'll see what happens. I do think they'll extend that 180 days. It just kind of sounded like it the way he was talking.
Yeah.
They're going to, and I think the thing too, they're going to play it safe. They don't want to put her back in and say she's competent if she's not. You start getting into her civil rights or her constitutional rights or whatever. No need to mess it up with that when this case isn't going anywhere anytime soon anyway.
Nope.
All right, Murdaugh. Whew. I'm glad I went to the grocery store early this morning. I don't know why. I never do. But I went and got my grocery shopping and my errands finished because I'd planned to come home and take a nice little nap. And then the Murdaugh case started updating about every hour, it seemed.
Yeah, it's been crazy last few days with that.
It's been
I've had
crazy.
People contact me and say, "Are y'all covering this case?" And I was like,
"Yeah, same." Yeah, I know. We've got a lot of new followers, so we just want to give you guys a big welcome. Hope you'll stick with us. We try to bring you facts and everything we know. One quick thing, it's not Alex. It's pronounced Alec, which is the Southern way to pronounce Alex. I'm not sure why, but we know Alex. Alec. It's usually Alec, but it's Alec, not Alex. So I'm going to have to remember to call him Alec now.
I'm just going to spell it like it sounds. That's how I'll do it.
Yeah. So we just want to make clear that right now, SLED, law enforcement, nobody has said that Alec is a suspect in the double murder case. And so we just want to make sure we put that out there, that we're not going to refer to him as being a part of that until law enforcement tells us to.
Yeah.
We just try to make sure we do it right. And I really do hope that he gets the help he needs in rehab, because it's been I'm sure a crazy time for him since his wife and son were brutally murdered. So we wish him well in that attempt. Now, but let's hop into Saturday, because that's where it got all crazy. And I'm not, we normally don't do conspiracy theories or major speculation on this show for a million reasons, but I kind of went there with this. And I think what we're seeing is maybe that wasn't so off track.
Yeah. So it's interesting that SLED hasn't validated anything that Alec Murdaugh's attorney has put out about the alleged shooting attempt on Alec. He's the one who had said Alec was fixing his tire, that he was on his way to Charleston.
Yeah, that's telling.
Yeah. So SLED will figure it out.
They're good.
It all is just really odd.
Well, and if you want to add on that, there's still no suspect or vehicle description. I mean, if there's somebody shooting at citizens while they're looking at their back tire, you would think law enforcement would plead to the public to look for this kind of a car with this kind of a person or people in it, and they haven't.
Yeah, and obviously he said it was a truck, right?
The only thing I've heard, it came from the lawyer, was a white truck with two people in there. And I think the lawyer also said there were 10 rounds fired.
Okay.
And they missed him and grazed him. South Carolina men in trucks with guns, they don't miss.
No, they turkey hunt. They shoot a turkey and deer hunt. No, yep.
So Alex's lawyer told the New York Times just late tonight, right before we went on, the story broke. He said he was told by law enforcement that no weapon was found at the scene and there was a slice in Alex's tire. However, law enforcement would not confirm to the New York Times that that was the case. So again, you're kind of getting into this narrative that his lawyer is pushing, and whether or not it's true, we don't know. We just know SLED's not saying anything.
Yeah, and I mean, if you go back and look at records, when stuff like this happens, they immediately put out police APB out on this vehicle. Right. Yeah.
Because for all we know, these are just crazy people shooting at random people on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. A lot of people were making a big deal about the fact that the road he was on, which was kind of deserted, there was a church on there. It was about 7 miles away from the Moselle property where Paul and Maggie were shot. Now, listen, I will say this. Having a house in the Low Country, you and I both know when we've been down there, we do take back roads and off roads to avoid traffic. It's Labor Day weekend. Understandably, those roads get clogged up, guys. I mean, you could be sitting in a parking lot for hours. So I'm not making too much about where his car was found.
No. Yeah,
not right now.
We do that little back road where you get stuck by that train sometimes. Oh my goodness.
If that train comes, you might as well turn your engine off, get out, have a picnic.
Yeah. Oh, you could, you can do all kind of stuff. Eat you a ham sandwich, everything. Yeah.
So a lot of people also have been wondering, why was he airlifted for a superficial wound? Well, I talked to a trauma surgeon today, and he said that you just never know with a gunshot wound to the head what's going on in that head. So it's just kind of standard with a gunshot wound to the head that far out from a trauma center by ambulance that they would dispatch a helicopter to get him. And the lawyer had said that he went to MUSC when in fact he went to Savannah, to a hospital in Savannah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So just being safe.
Right.
Yeah. You don't want to be in an ambulance and something bad happen. So
right. Or, if there was some kind of internal swelling or something going on, you got to get them there.
Yeah.
I mean, and even if it was superficial, head wounds bleed really bad. It's a very vascular part of the body.
Yeah.
There's a lot of capillaries and blood vessels. So if you've ever cut your head, it bleeds like a banshee. It may have looked worse than it was, obviously, because he's out now.
Yeah. So sources told Fitz News that SLED is very suspicious of the claims Alec has made about what happened on Saturday.
Yeah, and they haven't said anything officially, but Fitz News, everything they put out so far has been proven to be correct. So I'm super comfortable citing Fitz News as this source because they put out the story earlier today that Alex may have an opioid addiction, and an hour later, he releases a statement that he has an addiction and he's going to rehab. And we have that statement. We'll read it on down the line. I don't want to mess up the flow.
Yep. So you had a good point. If the car had run flats, how far away from home was he?
7 miles.
Yeah. And those things can go, what, 50 miles?
50 miles up to 50 miles an hour. And with run flats, we're not sure if he had them on this car. I looked up the car through the VIN today, and it didn't have anything, obviously, about the tires. But when you have run flats, typically, excuse me, I'm still struggling with the COVID here. When they go flat, you typically have to go to a dealer to have those replaced. It's not something you can do on the side of the road. I think when I had the run flats, they gave me a can of something that I could put in the hole that might seal it a little better, but you don't have a jack or anything like that. There wasn't anything by the road, but for all we know, he could have just gotten out, bent down, and, looked at the tire.
Yeah. Yep. So in looking at the pictures, the evidence markers look weird.
Very weird. I sat and looked at these for a very long time today, literally with my magnifying glass that I think I could see moon men on the moon if I looked up that far. They are strong. If you look at the evidence markers, so it looks like if you come from the back of the car, it's almost like a rainbow up to that passenger back door. And I zoomed in and then I watched the video and took some screenshots and cleaned them up. I saw no bullet wounds in that car. 0. And I also didn't see any glass on the road. What did I say?
You said bullet wounds.
Oh gosh, it's late, y'all. I got the COVID
bullet
brain.
Wounds in the car.
No, I get a pass. I got the COVID brain.
The car has been wounded.
And then the back window was down, and you see his clothing hanging neatly. They weren't disturbed. So I don't know if that back window got shot out, but if it did, all the glass must have went inside the car because I didn't see anything. One white piece of something on the road, but it was flat. I don't see where there was no glass. So if you look at the evidence markers and you think about his story, a truck goes past him, turns around and starts shooting. If you look at those evidence markers, I don't see how that person was able to shoot at him. They would have to hang out the window. Otherwise, if they would have went right by the car and shot at him, we would have bullet holes in that car.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Make any sense? Yeah. If there's 10 shots fired, there's going to be holes in that car.
Right. I'm curious what they found when they got into the brush. I saw a picture of them looking for evidence in the thick of what was off the road. So no, there's no holes in that car. In fact, somebody on Twitter said, well, you wouldn't be able to see it. So I pulled up a picture of a black car that had a very small handgun shoot it, and you could see dents. And then in the video, the sun kind of hits the car and it makes it very shiny and nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious as to how these people did it. If you look at the evidence markers and try to picture somebody hanging out of a truck, they would have to be hanging way out to do it. I don't know. It's very weird. And I tweeted it and Facebooked it. So you can go look and see what you guys think.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see. what comes out of that, because he was released yesterday.
His lawyer says he was released today. I had that yesterday, but no, this new story says that he was released today and he immediately met with SLED after he was released. But the other big announcement, what's going on with that?
Yeah, so he announced today that he'll be leaving his law firm and entering rehab. And his statement says, "The murders of my wife and son have caused an incredibly difficult time in my life. I've made a lot of decisions that I truly regret. I'm resigning from my law firm and entering rehab after a long battle that has exasperated these murders. I am immensely sorry to everyone I've hurt, including my family, friends, and colleagues. I ask for prayers as I rehabilitate myself and my relationships."
So one thing I thought that was a little weird about that statement is he didn't thank anybody, the doctors, the nurses, the investigators. He didn't mention anything about finding the people who supposedly shot at him on Saturday. And what's interesting that makes sense now is Alex's law firm, they didn't release a statement after Saturday's incident. Fitz News put out a story that says now there are millions of dollars missing from Alex's law firm. So now we're going to get into what happened from Friday up to Saturday.
Yep. So New York Times just put out a story that Alex had been pushed out of his law firm on Friday for misappropriating funds and had stepped down. Then the shooting happens on Saturday.
So in a statement to the New York Times, Alex's law firm said it had hired a forensic accounting firm to look into the missing funds, and big one, they've notified police and the South Carolina bar. The law firm notified Alex of this on Friday, and they all agreed he should resign. He said his lawyer says that he expressed regret and sorrow. His lawyer is Jim Griffin, and he confirmed that Alex was accused of the missing funds. That's a big deal.
And we don't do speculation on here, but I immediately go to some of the shows like that I watch, and you think about if, like, was there a gambling problem? Was there? I mean, obviously he had a drug problem because he's checking into rehab.
Yeah, Fitz News said that
tie into any of that.
I don't know. I mean, it's very odd. Fitz News said that they were told it was opioids. So that's all nasty stuff. It can really get a grip on your life and cause a lot of problems. So the car that we saw on the side of the road was impounded. This is the second car they've impounded from the Murdaughs. They took that dark SUV from the scene where Paul and Maggie were shot and killed.
You're going to have to take an Uber.
You ain't lying. So the 911 call came in at 1:34 p.m. on Saturday. Local authorities, which would be the Hampton County Sheriff's Office, they got there first. SLED was dispatched to the scene at 2:41 because Hampton County knew SLED's going to have to be on this, not us. So SLED got there about an hour and 7 minutes from the 911 call to SLED officers arriving. They probably have an office in Charleston.
Oh, yeah, I would think so.
They probably had to come from somewhere down that way.
Yeah.
But here's my question. Like, where's Buster?
Yeah.
Hopefully Buster is somewhere safe.
Yeah. You hadn't heard anything.
Nothing at all. But, here's the thing for me. Look at this list. You've got Mallory Beach, who was killed in the boating accident that was driven by Paul. Stephen Smith, lots of rumors there about his involvement with the Murdaugh family. He's dead. The housekeeper. You got the double murder, and now this with Alex.
Yeah, something ain't right. I don't want to be associated with them people. I'm staying.
I know, right? So it's just a huge case. And I think the thing that we're going to find over time is there's going to be answers to a lot of these names that have ended up dead associated with the Murdaughs. Most importantly, I want to find out more about the double murder, because even with that, no suspect description, no vehicle description, Alex didn't lose consciousness Saturday. So if this happened, he should have been able to say, this kind of truck, here's what the suspects maybe looked like. I mean, a glance or something. Maybe he didn't look, but they've put nothing out there that supposedly would come from Alex telling about his experience.
Yeah, it doesn't add up. And here's the thing, with it being the family that it is, you would think they would get more attention. And I know it's sad to say, but when you have a death of someone who's not as well off or whatever, so
right,
with this, you would think that they would be overly working harder and wanting to find, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think
weird.
they're working. They're working. They're building
they're
their
working.
case.
Yeah, they're working. But it just, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
it'll be like all hands on deck. You know what I'm saying?
Right, for sure. To where with Stephen Smith's death, it was pretty much closed and not reopened until they found something investigating the double murders that would lead them to reopen that case, which tells me the rumors and the statements given to police about this that implicated the Murdaughs may not be that far off base.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's going to get ugly. The skeletons are about to start pouring out those closets.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So that's kind of what we wanted to talk about tonight. That's kind of it. Hopefully tomorrow we get some more news and keep going. But man, this is convoluted and crazy and confusing, and it's giving me something to think about all day.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. And I've had actually some people on Facebook commented that I know.
Yeah.
Asked, what was going on with it and all, and were we covering it? So.
Yeah. Well, we're on it. We are on this one. It seems like right now this
stinks like stinky cheese. What's that? What is that? Rookie of the year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You always reference kid
cheese.
Movies.
I know, right? Yeah. That's when he breaks his arm. You remember?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, and then he can pitch like 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The tendon in his arm grows back weird. Yeah.
Well,
that's
my
what
tendons
throw in the
back.
stinky cheese. Yeah. This cake smells like stinky cheese.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of things rotten in Denmark with this one. Yeah. So we will stay on it. We will update you guys tomorrow if anything new happens. And if you see anything, tag us in it. There's just stuff dropping every minute in this, it seems. So we're trying to keep up, but we wanted to hop on and do this tonight with this late breaking information that came out between Fitz News and New York Times. We've tweeted out on Facebook both articles for you to read. They are paywalls. There are ways around them. I'm not going to tell you how, but I know some people just can't afford to subscribe to stuff. But that's why we do this. We do subscribe. We do pay for the services, and that way we can bring it to you. So, yep. All right, guys. Well, have a great evening, and we will talk to you soon.
Good night.
The power of three. More vehicles, huge savings, and way more for your trade. That's what you get at Lake Kiwi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Lake Kiwi Ford, and Lake Kiwi Pre-Owned Superstore. 3 dealerships who have joined forces to give you the best deals in the upstate. And right now our summer clearance event is on. Every vehicle is discounted. They all have 0 cash down, plus 0% financing is available. So come see us. We're located between Clemson and Seneca and always open at LakeKiwiAutoGroup.com.
See dealer for details.
One of the most exciting events in Western North Carolina is back as the Mountain State Fair rides again. The famous Midway returns along with all the games, exhibits, animals, and of course, the food. Discounted advance tickets are available at all Western North Carolina Ingalls locations and online at mountainfair.org. The fun starts September 10th. Come on down to the Mountain State Fair. We can't wait to ride again with you.